Addiction and substance abuse have unfortunately become commonplace all across West Virginia. But healthcare officials are doing everything that they can in their power to fix this problem. Larmy Sanyon takes a look at a healthcare conference in the Mountain State that is hoping to be part of the solution.
The Appalachian Addiction and Prescription Drug Abuse Conference wants its roughly 500 participants to walk away with a new understanding of addiction. The conference is a gathering of healthcare professionals who want to learn new ways to tackle substance abuse.
Well, everybody knows that West Virginia is somewhat of an epicenter of an addiction epidemic. That also makes us the epicenter of the solution.
Dr. Hall says West Virginia as a whole is heading in the right direction, and that the Mountain State is ahead of the curve in terms of policies that address addiction.
The state of West Virginia doesn't need to lose hope and continue to do what we're doing. We are making a difference, but it doesn't happen overnight.
One of the conference's speakers was Ken Rodenbaugh, a nurse who is 6 years into his prescription drug recovery. Rodenbaugh says one of the biggest issues dealing with addiction is stigma.
Stigma has been such a big part of my life while I was a nurse, ending active addiction and my ignorance towards it, and I just want to raise awareness towards it.
Awareness that addiction comes in many shapes and sizes. Rodenbaugh says he was a full-time nurse, father, and husband. All the things people don't normally associate with addiction.
And so by putting my face on that, I hope to change their perception.
Another key focus of the conference was helping to prevent people from abusing drugs rather than helping them once they're already addicts.
One of the biggest ways to do that is prevent any drug or substance use in our youth.
Dr. Hall's colleague, Dr. Slemp, says since addiction is a sign of deeper problems, individuals will need help from others.
It's really important that that we are able to have healthy and supportive communities that help us deal with all the everyday aspects of our lives and to fill those gaps.
The conference is scheduled to run another 2 days until Saturday the 19th. For 12 News in Morgantown, I'm Larmy Sanyon.